The story kicks off by introducing us to two high school students, Momo Ayase and Ken Takakura, who at first seem like ordinary teenagers, but are about to get pulled into a world far beyond their imagination. Momo Ayase is a strong-willed, determined girl who firmly believes in the supernatural. She's fascinated by ghosts and spirits, even though many people around her think such things are just made-up stories or urban legends. Momo is a bit quirky, sometimes blunt, but her curiosity and bravery push her to explore the unknown. She's also convinced that she can prove the existence of spirits, despite how crazy it sounds to others. On the other hand, Ken Takakura, nicknamed Okarun, is a boy who does not believe in ghosts or aliens. He's a skeptic through and through, and tends to rely only on things he can see or prove. Okarun is calm and collected, somewhat aloof, and approaches life logically. The funny thing is, even though Momo and Okarun seem like opposites, one believing in spirits and the other dismissing them, they end up crossing paths because of their shared interest in the strange. Their encounter starts when Momo challenges Okarun to help her prove that ghosts are real. She insists they go to a supposedly haunted place, a creepy abandoned school, to gather evidence. Okarun reluctantly agrees, thinking it's all nonsense, but the promise of adventure lures him in. Once they arrive, strange things immediately start to happen. The atmosphere is heavy, and eerie noises fill the air. Suddenly, Momo sees an apparition, a ghost, clearly confirming her beliefs. Okarun, despite himself, is taken aback because he also witnesses the supernatural firsthand. The ghost is terrifying and aggressive, not just a harmless spirit. Things escalate quickly as the ghost tries to attack them. But it's not just a typical ghost story. The show surprises viewers with its mix of horror and comedy. Momo shares her own experiences with the supernatural, revealing that she comes from a family with a history of dealing with spirits. Her boldness and knowledge complement Okarun's newfound powers. Together, they decide to team up and face the growing number of supernatural threats in their city. But the surprises don't end with ghosts. Suddenly, a new enemy appears: aliens. These aliens are not friendly visitors. They have their own sinister plans and powers. Just as the ghost attack intensifies, Okarun discovers a secret about his own body. He has some kind of mysterious power or ability that helps him fight off the spirit. This revelation shocks both characters and sets the stage for the supernatural battles ahead. The first episode ends with a big twist. Okarun's power awakens unexpectedly, and the ghost is defeated. But this event signals the beginning of a much larger conflict involving spirits and even aliens. The world they thought they knew is turning upside down. Picking up from the explosive events of Episode 1, Episode 2 dives deeper into the strange new reality Momo and Okarun find themselves in. After narrowly escaping the ghost, Momo and Okarun start discussing what just happened. Momo is excited and relieved to prove her beliefs, while Okarun is confused and trying to make sense of his newfound abilities. He begins to question everything he thought he knew about reality. After the intense ghost encounter at the school, the story shifts focus to Momo's home, a place that holds many secrets and ties to her supernatural heritage. As she arrives, the atmosphere changes dramatically. The usually calm neighborhood feels charged with an eerie energy, and the camera captures long shadows stretching across narrow streets, building suspense. Inside Momo's house, the scene is both familiar and unsettling. Traditional decorations, family heirlooms, and spiritual talismans fill the rooms, hinting at a family deeply connected to the spirit world. Momo moves confidently through the house, but the tension rises as strange noises echo in the background: whispers, creaking floorboards, and soft footsteps. Suddenly, the air grows cold, and a malevolent spirit appears, far more aggressive and dangerous than the ghost at the school. This spirit is dark and shadowy, with glowing red eyes and an aura that distorts the surroundings. It lunges at Momo without warning. Momo reacts instantly. Her fearless nature shines as she dodges the attacks with quick, fluid movements. The show ramps up the action with thrilling fight scenes where they test their skills and powers against these supernatural threats. Okarun's abilities grow stronger, and Momo shows off her fearless combat style. The characters also start developing their relationships. Okarun, who was initially skeptical and distant, begins to trust Momo and open up. Momo's determination inspires Okarun to push past his doubts. Their partnership becomes the heart of the story, a balance of belief and skepticism, courage and logic. But Momo's experience and connection to her family's spiritual legacy give her an edge. She calls upon spiritual energy. He steps in to help, to shield Momo and disrupt the spirit's attacks. Their teamwork impresses Momo, who starts to trust his powers more. In a powerful final move, Momo channels her energy into a radiant blast that engulfs the spirit, cleansing the house of its dark presence. The spirit lets out a chilling scream before dissolving into harmless mist. The fight leaves the house quiet again, but the sense of danger lingers. Momo and Okarun exchange determined looks. They know this battle is just one of many, and that threats are closer to home than they thought. The episode also introduces side characters who will play important roles later. Some of these characters have mysterious backgrounds and powerful abilities that hint at a bigger, more dangerous world lurking beneath the surface. Episode 3 begins with a live broadcast featuring a psychic named Santa Dodoria. He attempts to give a reading for a celebrity's profile, but is repeatedly corrected by the celebrity himself. After the broadcast ends, Santa hails a taxi, but chooses to walk the remaining distance home, worried the driver might be in danger if they continue together. Meanwhile, back at Momo's house, a tense and dramatic fight is about to unfold. Just as the terrifying spirit known as Turbo Granny is about to attack Momo, her grandmother arrives in the nick of time. Without hesitation, Momo's grandmother throws a brick embedded with a nail and a protective circle at Turbo Granny. The spirit bursts into flames instantly. The grandmother boldly challenges Turbo Granny to a duel. Turbo Granny tries to sneak up and attack from behind, but she burns again as she approaches the grandmother's protective barrier. Momo's grandmother reveals that she has drawn a magical barrier around herself using her bat, keeping evil spirits away. She also created a second barrier, trapping Turbo Granny within a small space. With Turbo Granny confined, the grandmother repeatedly strikes her with the bat, and every time the spirit tries to cross the barrier, it bursts into flames. Turbo Granny warns the grandmother that killing her will also cause Okarun's death, but the grandmother is unwavering. She says she will not stop because trying to harm Momo is unforgivable. She bids a solemn farewell to the evil spirit, and then erases the first circle with her foot, triggering a powerful warding flame that fully banishes Turbo Granny. Later, Momo wakes up in her bed and walks down to find her grandmother watching television. Concerned for Okarun's safety, Momo asks if her grandmother has seen him. To her shock, her grandmother reveals she already defeated Turbo Granny earlier. Momo asks for more details, worried about Okarun's curse, but is gently reminded of the time she accused her grandmother of being a fake spirit medium. Feeling guilty, Momo kneels and apologizes. Her grandmother tells her to check the main shrine outside. Rushing there, Momo opens the doors to find Okarun safe and happy. Her relief quickly turns to frustration, and she slams the doors shut, leaving Okarun puzzled by her sudden mood change. Momo's grandmother steps out and explains that Okarun's curse is safely sealed within the shrine. She admits to fabricating his death to provoke Momo, and then asks if she has feelings for him, a question Momo denies. Momo tells her grandmother about her psychic powers awakening and Okarun's predicament. Her grandmother warns her to avoid confronting Turbo Granny directly. She explains that Turbo Granny has merged with an earthbound spirit inside a tunnel, becoming so powerful that even she can't face her alone. Despite this, Momo insists on helping Okarun, saying it's what Ken Takakura would do. After teasing Momo by comparing the heroic Ken she admires to the real boy in the shrine, her grandmother agrees to let her face Turbo Granny, but outlines a plan. Momo and Okarun must train and then lure Turbo Granny out of Shono City by playing a game of tag, which will weaken her powers. Once alone, Okarun expresses regret for seeming weak against the Flatwoods monster and vows to get stronger. Momo reassures him, praising his bravery during the alien encounter and promises to rescue him if needed. She prepares a futon and barley tea for him, showing their growing closeness. Meanwhile, Momo's grandmother watches a TV report exposing secrets of Shoma, the celebrity she read for earlier, confirming her psychic predictions. Momo comments that it's unnecessary news, showing her skepticism. During training, Momo notices Okarun desperately needs to use the bathroom, but denies him permission, explaining she must stay close to suppress his curse. She explains that her psychokinesis works by sensing auras she can see, but admits she was stronger when her powers first appeared. Her grandmother advises her to close her eyes and use touch instead of sight to control the curse. Momo tries, but Turbo Granny's curse begins to possess Okarun. Unable to hold it back, Okarun dashes to the bathroom with Momo and her grandmother following closely. With the bathroom door open, Momo suppresses the curse, embarrassing Okarun. She learns from her grandmother that her psychic powers aren't fully developed, and that she must train to regain her full strength. Suddenly, Momo notices her grandmother's nose bleeding, and, horrified, sees Turbo Granny standing in the bathroom. The spirit speaks through Okarun, warning that her curse can kill anyone he looks at, and challenges Momo to face her in the tunnel that night. If Momo refuses, Turbo Granny threatens to kill indiscriminately. After the spirit leaves, Momo can again talk with her grandmother and Okarun. Seeing her grandmother's bleeding and a burnt talisman on the wall, Momo's grandmother asks what happened. Before they leave for the tunnel, Momo's grandmother gives Momo and Okarun special garments to protect them from evil spirits. She holds Momo tightly, praying for their safety. Towards the end of the episode, on the train ride, Momo burns with anger toward Turbo Granny for hurting her grandmother. Okarun hides his face in embarrassment, likely because of their unusual outfits and the public setting.